Greetings, everyone. Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. Another day in this wonderful world that we live in. I'm going to introduce you. Let Tina say hello. Greetings, Tina. How are you?
Hello, Tommy. Hello, Sasha. I'm Tina Bird here from Southampton in the UK. I'm doing fine. It's been quite nice here in the UK, and it's been great to come on the show again this week. Tommy, how are you?
Well, I'm doing good. I just looked. I put linked on my site, and it says they don't allow the chat to go up in there. Believe it or not, that's okay. All right, people. We get into all the truth about everything we can. I said let's go back to the basics. The number one question people should ask: are aliens real? And for me, I know the truth. Tina knows the truth, but there's a lot of people still wondering if they're real, if they're going to come here. Are they coming here? Are they here? And in the UFO world, they're not even pushing aliens. The only thing they're pushing is UFOs. And sadly to say, they're pushing a Tic Tac. That's the biggest thing in the whole UFO world right now, saying that UFOs are coming. But they won't say where. Go ahead, Tina.
But in there, so Tommy's right. Everything has gone really silent, which normally means there's something big coming. So when everyone said that they were looking forward to this big report, I did say that it would probably amount to nothing. It'd be good for it to come out, and we were excited to see what it said. But I did say it'd be a bit of a letdown. Now, I love Michio Kaku. For those people who don't know who he is, I totally get him. He does great books. He's the most brainiest man on this planet. 4 days ago, however, now before Michio Kaku, he's like a physicist. He's top in his field. He's well renowned. So he's up there. He's the number one in his field. Physicist, mathematician, really into a lot of things, and science is big in space exploration. Michio Kaku, 4 days ago, has come out and said, what I want to say basically, I'm putting words into his mouth and I shouldn't do it, is what's kind of going to happen. So 4 days ago, onto the Tucker Carlson show tonight on Tucker Carlson Originals, 4 days ago, look it up, Michio Kaku said that UFOs are real. Now, it's not real little green men and aliens are real. He's saying overwhelming evidence now. We've known that for a long time. We've had it for over 100 years. We know they've been visiting for thousands of years. Has said that they've had. I'm just going to get this now because I'm reading from this. Now, he's saying that these more than 5 or 10, 15 different types. He's saying the movement of these things from the air to the water, he said the stress on that would rip any known vessel in the world apart. He said even our missiles cannot do what these craft are seen to be doing. He's been reviewing footage from the Pentagon. He's been reviewing footage from reported sightings and military sightings. And he said that's a fraction of what they have thought about. Literally, this is like the basics, they're just not even skimming the surface. Now, what I'm saying is if a man like Michio Kaku is coming out and saying that, and he said it for a while, if there's life out there, that he knows there is life out there, it won't be like us or couldn't be like us, and they're either forwards or behind where we are today. What I'm saying is what comes next. So everything went dead after that report. Everyone's a bit deflated. Now, out of nowhere, which I think the person that should have been reviewing this evidence should have been Michio Kaku in the first place. And if he's just saying that they're scratching the surface, what is coming next? What is so horrific that the military are hiding that will be coming out? Now, if the truth, because we all know they do exist, the crafts are here, they've been here a long time before mankind, if not they brought us here. There's something else I was going to remind me about Orion in a minute, just about Ryan's bout, just remind me in a minute. Anyway, so Mr. Kaku come out 4 days ago and said he's also noticed that these things don't do a sonic boom. They travel faster than a sonic boom and do not make a sonic boom noise. So he said that he can't work out how they do that. they hit the ocean at such a velocity, speed, and angle that it would rip any known vehicle apart and smash it apart. And yet it effortlessly glides in and out of the water. So if that's the best the military have, that Michio Kaku, who has access to virtually anything on the planet, is saying, then I'm just going to go that one step further. What is that horrific that they're just showing you the outside of the ships and what they can do? What are they hiding from the contents of those ships, the beings and their purpose? Also, on that note, Microsoft News today said, oh, hold on, can you hear that? There's a helicopter over my house. It's not making my house vibrate.
Now, I did have a question when you were saying.
You shut the door. The helicopter's a bit. Sorry. The helicopter's really deafening me.
Specifically for you, Tommy, these UFOs, do they have the ability to phase in and out when they hit physical objects?
Yeah. Sorry, Tommy, go on.
All right, now I appreciate that, Tina, because I didn't like him at first because he didn't believe in anything. But suddenly he even talks about the idea of a real God, which is really cool in my book. Because he said there has to be a designer, actual thing to create. Otherwise, Gustavus don't mutate and become better and better every time. In other words, we would have never formed a human. We would have never formed a dinosaur. By mutations over and over, we'd have freaking all kinds of weird stuff coming out. But no, he's changing it. Like now he's talking about UFOs. I think that's incredible. Because who else would know about it other than him as far as the actual, but like he said, the speeds that they go into the water and all the things that they do, we can't do it yet, at least from the technology they release to the world, which isn't much. But we do have 2 ships that can travel at the speed of sound. Over the speed of sound. Not to the light yet, maybe close to it. And that was the Delphi and the Aurora. But they try to cover that up for the longest time right now. So, but
you missed a question from Sasha. He just muted his microphone for a second. Sasha asked you a question. I think it was a bit of a blip about. It was aimed. He asked you a specific question about. Do you think UFOs could phase in and out, like blimp in and out? Is that right, Sasha?
Yeah, I know. Tommy, you answered that.
Okay, definite. It's a definite because here's the reason why I can say it's a definite. I've been filming UFOs for a long time, and depending what race it is, and they're going across the sky, the second I point the camera at it, it disappears. All right, if they don't want to be filmed, they don't get filmed. It's that simple. So they can cloak in and out whenever they want. Now I know the government can, and I'll give you a quick short story. My best friend, who I knew since I was 12 years old, we used to play spaceman, make a cardboard spaceship and everything. Well, he worked for NASA. He worked for designing the parts for any space shuttle and everything else. I met him many years ago, but I didn't see him like 20 years before that. So when I met him, I said, do you want to come over and see some pictures? He goes, oh, no, the government said I can't do that kind of stuff. And he said, well, I'll come over anyway. So he came over, and I showed him a bunch of UFO stuff. He told me how the ships cloak themselves. It's kind of like a magic trick.
Can I interject? Sorry, Tommy. From what I understand, Tommy's frozen again. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut Tommy off there. No, from what I understand, from what I've seen and learned, in Earth's atmosphere, only in Earth's atmosphere during like daylight hours. I'm not sure about the rest of the time, but they have, like Tommy said, I don't want to say like a bit like Star Trek Klingon. They have like, it's not a shield, like a cloak. They can hide in the light of the reflection of the sun, if that makes any sense, if you know what I'm on about. And I'd just like to say hi to Eugene in our chat room. If you'd like to ask a question, Eugene, please, you can come on and ask us a question, or email Tommy, or just ask us a question now, sweetheart. Sorry,
Eugene,
Tommy.
Eugene, you can click on that link I sent you. That'll bring you right on the show. Basically, what happens, well, the way the government, or the U.S. government does, it's kind of like a magic trick. I don't know. You ever hear the words mirrors? Oh, it's always done with mirrors when they say magic.
Smoke and mirrors.
a lot of the older tricks were done with mirrors. But what they do, there's a reflection shield on the bottom of the ship that brings the image of above it around to the bottom of the ship. So it's actually reflecting the sky above it, below it. So it's not like it's disappearing or anything like that, really. But that was a technology they were using 22 years ago when he came over my house. A week later, his whole family disappeared. So when you talk about certain things, the government will track you. So when these people say, "Oh, this, that," I say,
It's a shame they can't track you when you're being abducted, isn't it?
I'm sure they're watching you. Like you said, there's a helicopter over you.
It's just gone now. It's gone.
I used to lecture at Global Sciences, and this one guy came, and he was working with these magnets. They look like hockey pucks. They're the strongest magnets on the planet. All right. He says when he puts 3 of them together, it pulls out all the it blocks all the frequencies of a helicopter. And he had to put this black shield around his property.
Ferromagnets. Is that him?
But yeah, the government was after him and everything. And I mean, I got the whole. They're incredibly powerful.
They use magnets a lot now in space technology and laser technology.
Like, see, a long time. We're going off stream, but when I realized magnetic energy, gravitational pull, I said they're all the same. It's like proton, neutron, and electron. When they said they could levitate a frog with magnetic energy, all right, it's the same as gravitational energy. It's kind of like the proton, neutron, and the electron of something, and it's just how we use it. But I want to get into the idea. First, let's just mention what a Tic Tac is. The government has a file. It's everywhere. It's this little teeny thing moving around, and they filmed it, and they're promoting that as what they have as evidence of UFOs. I had better ships 20 years ago. 22 years ago, we had real ships we took pictures of, not a dot going around in space. All right. But this little Tic Tac is the biggest thing. And they're trying to say, well, they don't know if it was made in Russia, China, Japan. It could have been made anywhere. It could have been a secret government that created it. They won't say that it's from outer space. And they won't say aliens are driving it. So, it's bizarre. And I could go into the details, which I might a little bit later. But what's your viewpoint, Tina? Why do you think they won't release what's really going on?
So I think it's a 2 or 3-fold system there. I think they're so up to it in their necks with conspiracy theories. I think a lot of the people in the UFO world over the years have just played into their hands, and there's not been the right help there for people. And the first thing you'd have to look at is once they come out and said, yes, UFOs are real, all those people that they've locked up all around the world and said, you're insane, UFOs aren't real. How much compensation do you think their families would be after? They would be after your blood. Because if you did that in England, and the amount of people they've locked up in the Department of the DOP, the Department of Psychiatry, or people that like me that say that they've been abducted, and they're like, now they're like, back off, no one, they're frightened to talk to you now. If you turn around and said aliens and UFOs are real, all those thousands of people that are locked up, are they going to repatriate them back to their families? Are they going to give them compensation? Are they going to get an apology? Are they how? Then the second thing is, apart from that, before we get into anything else, is what about the millions of people that they've taken and never returned, or the people they've taken and that have died and not returned? You're looking at that. So British or human casualties of war. So that's the first thing. And then you've got abduction cases that they've refused to look into. If their technology, the British human beings' technology is so good, what about all the people that said that these ships have landed and the government's gone there? You're telling me that there's no record of that? Our record keeping's pretty crap. If they can keep a piece of film for 40 to 70 years, but they can't find a UFO that's landed in the desert years ago. There's all those questions to be asked before you get to the military side of things. Before that, then you've got the believers and non-believers. Then you have the people saying, well, they've been here for millions of years. What have they been doing in all that time? If they are here, you must know. If you must know, what have you deliberately held back from the public? It's a whole can of work. They want to draw a line under all of it. Held their hands up. We've lied for the betterment of man. We've now come clean. People could understand that. Let's go from today. But they're not. And then you've got people like me. I'd turn around and say, you've neglected my human right. You've interacted with another species, allowed them to come into this world, take people, torture them, and put them back if they're lucky enough to survive. What have you done about that? It shows weakness for humankind because they've not been able to protect me or mankind or even our planet if this is our planet. So, and then you're looking at, well, why hasn't our military got those capabilities if we are friends with them? Are they not sharing? Are we not sharing? Are we a threat? Are they a threat? What do they want? That's the biggest question. If they wanted to coexist, you would have seen a flag around the North Pole, you would have seen a flag coming out of the sea, and you would have seen a hello banner in the sky. Have you, bugger? Have they come in? You know, there's so many things that we even get to the military issues that I could rattle off. But I won't. So there's just a few things. I mean, to say the least, that I would want answered. You know.
One of the biggest problems we have right now is people that don't know anything in the UFO world. They always say the same thing as people in the UFO world say. If aliens wanted to destroy us, they would. All right.
I don't have to. They're just watching us stand back and letting us do it.
See, I mean, people involved in the UFO world should know that there's a difference between that and the truth. And the truth is, they need something and want something from planet Earth. It's not like they're here to be friends. Like Tina said, if they wanted to be friends, they'd come down and say, hey, everybody, come shake my hand. But they don't, and they're not. And they didn't for such a long time. So the reason why I see it, the U.S. government created such a horrible backlog of what they did. And if they came out and exposed any of that, nobody could trust the government. And nobody would.
I mean, there'd be other questions. I mean, the other end, the most senior end of that would be supposedly JFK was killed because of the UFO secrets and what he was going to announce and share with the world. Then you'd be looking at a whole new ballgame, and there'd been inquiries to who authorized a president of the United States to be killed because he was going to tell the public the truth. That would then pull in all of the American society and what they really stood for. You'd have a split country. You know, that's just for starters. There's so many questions.
No. See, right now I'm only going to talk about the famous people. You know Marilyn Monroe, right?
Yes, I heard about that.
Right.
So, yeah.
It was the same thing for her. She had all the documents 1 week before she was killed, supposedly committed suicide. But I'm talking about much further back when Truman was in power. All right. Truman's the one that created this whole problem. When he gave the aliens permission to take people, all right, that's when it all started. Because at that point, he sold the United States out to alien race. All right, they were allowed to
take mankind out to not just the mankind. I think
the United States. He couldn't sell out Russia, Germany, and Canada, but he was selling out people in the United States. He says, "Look, you can take 10,000 a year, but they cannot remember what happened to them when you take them." All right, there's no.
But the United States, I think. Sorry, go on.
There's no way they can track how many people were taken in the first place. The same as in the whale industry, fishing industry. They say there's a 10,000 limit for whales and dolphins. Nobody can keep track of that unless you had a detective on every boat filming every catch and all that, but they don't. So when aliens come down, take people and abduct people, use people, and they disappear, nobody's keeping track of that number. And the aliens don't go, well, we took 10,000 people. Can we take an extra 500? No, they do what they want. And the Phil Snyder story proves that. But getting back to the point, when Eisenhower came in, he was pulled into that. He was a little bit against it. I know his granddaughter says a lot of stuff, but I had her on my show. She wouldn't go against me. She wouldn't say anything, and she doesn't know much. I mean, but she talks about going to the planet with Mars with the president and all that. But in the interim, all the stuff that they did. Now, when people started becoming aware of being abducted, it became an issue because now people were talking about it. And when that happened, now they have to cover that up. And the way they did that, they told the alien race, they can't remember anything like that. So now they're being programmed to believe these great stories. And that makes it sounds to me a lot more stupid than it was.
Well,
I,
I think, especially in America, it's more noticeable with the massive building scale, Tommy. Where are you hiding all this evidence? I know they have all these underground lockers and storages and for miles and miles and miles. You have over 100 or a couple of 100 years of crashes, of beings, of paperwork, artifacts, films, archives from around the world. Where the hell are they storing it? What for what purpose? If they're not going to act on that or interact with that, what is the purpose for that? I mean, something else I want to pick up you just said. A lot of people are very quickly to blame the United States. Now, I'm not about blame. I'm about people answering for their actions that we voted in charge, that we paid good money for. That's what I'm about. It's responsibility. Now, you just said, oh, the Americans agreed to it. Americans couldn't agree to it off their own backs. Every country in the world or world leaders at some summit would have had to agree to that. You can't just say the US said, yeah, go take 2 million people from England and 1 million from Papua New Guinea and 1 million from Israel. World leaders would have had to agree this at some point. If you were a dominant or if you was a advanced civilization of a group of beings, you wouldn't go to one person in one part of the world and just say, we're going to make you supreme leader of the whole world. It doesn't work like that. It's global unilateral decision making in any country. Every country has their own space program. So, we can't lay all this at the door of the United States. I think people in their own countries should be looking at their leaders and at their military. And on that, there was something else to touch on earlier about what you were saying about magnets and things like that, and something else someone said. I think we said, look, stellar topography. Microsoft News came out today and said that they have wormhole technology to wormhole. Wormholes are possible under certain gravitational conditions, and they now have topography for wormholes. That's what they're looking at. So it is possible. So to be an interdimensional being, I mean, you first got to step through the threshold. If you're going to go from this end, you don't know where you're going, what size you're going to come, where you're going to come out, and if you're going to come out alive, what year or where. And then if you get there, how you getting back. So that's a lot to look at. Right. Another thing I want to just brief. There's huge things on the internet. I just thought I'd take. There was UFO locker thing on telly the other night. I just thought I'd watch it. I don't get to watch a lot of TV. And it said on there, now I'm not sure if I'm saying this right or even got the right spelling, so please guys correct me because you know what I'm like. There was a project called SERPs or SERPs, I'm not quite sure what it was. Now when they made the film Close Encounters, there was an exchange of beings. There was 8 or 10 men and 2 women that went to a planet off the belt of Orion. Now when they went there, they couldn't quite tell the years. They're supposed to go for 10 but stayed for 13. Apparently 2 died on their way. This is in a government report you can now read, and I think you can even read it on a search engine on the internet there. And they actually said that they stayed there with these beings. What I found interesting about the whole report, the thing that ran true for me that's now happening to our world, these beings that are there, that we had the exchange with, said they were put there on the planet near Orion because their planet was dying or had died and was now having difficulty with volcanic eruptions. There was something on their planet that caused volcanism, and it went all wrong, and they had to be moved to another planet. Now, that really rings bells for me. When I was abducted and they showed me, when I asked where we came from, they took me to this place and showed me this. They went underwater in one of these spheres. There was like other yellow beings, they look like a yellowy colour. I was in this sphere. I went shot across the land and down into the water. And there was other ones there looking at how the volcanism underneath the water. They got too close to whatever was going on underneath the water, and the planet imploded or exploded because there was something they did. Now, if they did this to another world, and moved beings there, it's possible that they've done the same thing. If they are now living here, and they have been living in our world underneath the sea, we're having a lot of volcanic activity all of a sudden, which is putting our planet and us in jeopardy. Is this them? Is this a natural cycle for them to become a parasitic invasion force, obviously attracted by volcanism, and they just move their living species to another planet? I don't know.
Well, we have, on top of all that, we have the serious word called disclosure.
Yeah.
Now, one person's responsible for trying to magnify that word and make it as real as he can. Now, by doing that, he's creating a whole scenario in the UFO world, which the UFO world believes in. The disclosure is going to happen. No, it's not. Not the way we want it to. First off, when it happens, it's going to be much different than what we perceive it to be. Oh, we're going to admit UFOs are real. We're going to admit aliens are real. No, we're going to see what aliens are doing, and then it's going to be real. But here's the thing. Mr. Stephen Greer is going public. He's doing a workshop, and he's teaching people how to communicate with aliens. Now, a few other people are, and I'll say Caroline Corey is also promoting cloning and all these things, interbreeding with aliens and all that. They're all making it sound good. All right. You think we're not created the best we can be? Do we really got to change ourselves?
Can I just tell me? Sorry, I love. Wow, I don't hate, but I've got a question for you about specifically about souls and Caroline Corey. Is it? Because you seem to. Could you ask her? I'd like to ask her a question. I don't know her. I know you're friends with her or you know of her. So I have a question. So they apparently don't clone human beings. They do IVF, but I can understand it's different. Now, they cloned a sheep. Dolly the sheep was famous years ago. When they clone human beings, so if they took my tissue and DNA and made a clone of me, from what I understand, from when they took my eggs and my tissue and they made clones of me and this alien species, I could understand them. But what was missing? There was something missing. There was like black inside. Now, if they human beings cloned another human being, would that they share my soul or have a clone of my soul? Then what would happen to their soul? Are you with me?
All right. For me, I'm going to say this. Two souls don't stay in the same body ever. All right. The second thing is, all through history, it's been known in slight detail, not completely provable, but a soul could occupy two bodies. Not like 100 bodies or 1,000 bodies.
Is that in a previous body to be reborn or at the same time?
I'm talking about at the same time, because there's many lamas and different kind of people that said they were here and then they were there. I mean, they tried to say Jesus was in three places at the same time and all that. But it's only for a short period of time if it does happen. If they clone these aliens, which you said, wait, let me just say, I kind of believe you're right. They're taking part of yourself to keep those souls alive. Like I said, that could be a futuristic technology that nobody knew, or I didn't even know. I mean, I wasn't dealing with that when I went into the astral plane. I know they can't go past the astral plane. Alien races, when they get there, they reincarnate into a human. I have a friend that was just asking me about that, but he goes, how could that be? Well, see, there's different kind of souls. There's an aware soul. There's, again, every creature has a form of a soul. How advanced it is. I mean, all the ants and caterpillars and bugs and aren't going to the astral plane. All right. They stay within this lowest realm and they reincarnate. I mean, like a butterfly, it changes three forms. It goes into water, it comes out on land, and then it flies. All right. It can change forms here, but that doesn't mean it's going into its soul body, leaving to go into the astral plane and becoming a self-realized being. All right. So there's all these steps that soul goes through. And what I'm saying is these alien races that are coming, they're not emotions and ideas, and they don't know how to control that. They're free flowing, even though they might talk about people about their God, their gods, or whatever they use to the average person. I mean, your friends didn't talk to you about God ever, did they?
Never.
I mean, when these people that are experiencers are talking to these aliens like one-on-one conversation. Oh, what are you going to have for dinner today? Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go party? What kind of car are we
Doesn't
going to
work
drive
like
home?
that, no.
I mean,
People still, well, yeah.
it's all useless information. I got into a big discussion with somebody online yesterday about John Lennon. I said, out of all these people, nobody was ever given a gift. If you're friends with people, you give them something. The native thing is they called it Indian giving, and the white man twisted that around thinking it was stealing and taking back. No, it meant if you gave me a gift, I give you back something better than what you gave me. That's Indian giving. So, I mean, these aliens, what do they give us? Nothing, people, nothing. They take things from us, take body parts from us and body fluids from us, but they don't give us anything back. John Lennon is the only person I know on this planet in the UFO world that was given an artifact from them. And one person has it right now. I've been bugging him, trying to get him on my show, trying to get him to talk about it. I got him on my other friend show. I want to bring a real important message out real fast. My friend Sean David Morton.
Oh, he's out, isn't he?
Huh?
He's out, isn't he?
No, here's what happened. No, he was arrested 3 days after he did a show with Carrie Cassidy.
No, he's out this week. There was a notice on Facebook.
No. The government came out because he's had cancer and he's dying. So the government came out and said, we're not going to pay for him. Let him go now. And they had to let him go, and they let him back out. I just talked to him yesterday. He did a show just 2 days ago. I missed the show. He didn't tell me when he was doing it. But I'm going to try to get him on. He's not healthy right now, and he might be in a state of slowing it down, the cancer. But he is the one that discovered Area 51. The first person. He took people out there every 2 weeks in a van on top of the mountain and watched the ship come in. This giant mothership used to come in there all the time. And once the government found out, they bought all that land and made it so you can't get near it. But he's the one responsible for that. So you don't think the government hates him? Then he put his book out, Sands of Time, the most important UFO book there is. Okay, I'll talk to you about that later. All right. Now he made it into 3 parts, but it's a story put together, but it's based on all the facts. And you got to read the book and put out the second book. He wanted to put out the 3rd book when they arrested him. All right. So his information is really important to the UFO people out there that don't know nothing. Well, maybe there's aliens. Maybe they're going to. Maybe. The truth is we had wars with alien races in space already. We had wars here on planet. We know that too. And those UFO people, oh, they're good. They're not going to hurt us. We got to talk to them. I mean, I do this show because Tina is one person I can deal with. But those people out there, I have to write letters, at least 10 letters to all these people, Cameron and Stephen Greer, all of them, because they're all pushing these ridiculous stories, making it all sound good. Look at the world right now.
And most of these people aren't abductees. They tell other people's stories or try to make people aware of their story, or I find it ickle-de-pickle. I find it funny. These people are out there trying to promote themselves. Anyone that wants to bring awareness to ufology, I'm all up for. Anybody wants to promote the truth, all up for. But you've got to do it for everyone across the board, not for these people that just say, I speak to aliens, and my friend said this isn't going to happen, and my friend said that. What about the people? It winds me up when people say about they're an experiencer, or they like to make it more friendly. It's not abduction anymore. It's experiencer. Is it how? That really winds me up. And that people that have been abducted aren't heard, and that people that just want to either make stuff up or spiritual light and hold this candle up and I'll charge you $25 a day per and you can speak to an alien. What the hell? This is real stuff. These things are coming here. It's not all glory and light, believe you me. Nothing of it. What's going on?
Sasha?
Yeah, do you know if Cassidy put that interview of Sean David Morton on her YouTube channel or not?
The one that he got taken out with, or the one, because he was talking, he mentioned Kennedy. He talked about a couple different things on that show. He admitted about Elvis Presley, and certain things the government doesn't want out.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah. 'Cause,
but here's the
supposed
thing:
Cassidy's
if
channel
the
had
truth of Kennedy came out of him not being killed, would be mind-boggling to the world, wouldn't it? Oh, we saw his head blown up. We saw this. We saw that. We saw him die. We saw that. Do you remember when he was put on the wrong plane? When they actually put him on a different plane, and all of it was twisted. Every fact that went down. But I don't want to get into that because it's over, and it's not going to help us either way, knowing whether he was this, that, or the other thing. What I want to get into is right now, like everybody I know that claims they were abducted. Tina and I'm not talking about you. One of your friends, though, who had put a movie out and everything else, suddenly become spiritual healers. I mean, in their mind, they think they're better now or something. They got more power than other people. You don't have power because you get abducted, people. You're losing your power. I told the person, if you got abducted, you're not a spiritual being because they can't touch you.
Can I make a comment about that, Tommy?
Tina,
I think Tommy's right. For me, being abducted, I'm not a spirit. I like religious history. I'm not a fanatic. I like all religious history across the board. I didn't find anything spiritual in myself about being abducted, but it's opened my eyes to seeing things the other side and spirituality. But the thing that made me a spiritual kind of person is when I had a major surgery and they had to revive me, and I had problems and difficulties after. Now, it wasn't until I saw the light when that kind of thing. It wasn't didn't know who I was. I was pulled up into this tunnel of bright white light. That was different. That's the afterlife. That's it. Being abducted is nothing like that, people. People think it's all glory and light and you're going to be more spiritual. These creatures or beings, as far as I could tell, yeah, perhaps they do want to warn us. I've seen horrific scenes of the earth on fire and smoke being enveloped under water and explosions. We're all going to die in this bloody world exploding scene. It was awful. What about that is spiritual? People want to take from that. I don't know. Perhaps that's what they're missing. I'm just surmising. I don't know. I can only tell you about my experience. And in my experience, they don't phone a friend. We come around tonight. We come and take you out. We abduct you. We show you the world. Take you. It does not work like that, people. And anyone who says it is, I'd seriously question. For me, it was completely different. I'm not saying that everyone's a liar. Everyone is different, and all abduction cases are different and unique to that person. But it doesn't make anyone Dalai Lama by any short change of imagination.
I was dealing about hypnosis and everything else. Aliens, when they program a person, I'm sure it's a high-tech form of hypnosis, which I call mind programming. The government has it as well. The guy that killed Kennedy was programmed. The guy that killed John Lennon was programmed a year before they actually killed the person. All right. Now, the problem is aliens, when they do it, all right, it's basically to erase what's really going on. If every person that's saying that they had a great conversation with aliens realized that they checked their semen or their ovaries and took what they wanted from that person, they need blood. It's not called DNA to aliens. It's just called blood to them. All right. DNA is a useless thing when you deal the way the way the United States and this world deals with DNA. They only know 12 strands. There's 32 strands. All right, and they don't even know the rest of them. They link all the alien races we're connected to. So again, they're not going to get there. Now, a person I go up and down with, Peter Moon. He put out books. Tequila Sunrise, Tequila Moonrise, Sunrise, and he put out a couple books about in another country, in its pyramid, they found a machine that actually translates the DNA. So, I mean, there's all these stories, but I can't prove that one, and I don't know if I believe it or not yet.
I've got to do my question was about blood actually, because when you said that they call it blood now, when I was having that chest operation and my blood was spurting out, I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't do nothing. They showed me this little pouch, and they're these beings, they're tiny. So it held its hand up like that, and it had one of these little pouches in it. It was clear, and then I could zoom in with my eye. It was weird. I could zoom in with my eyes and see the little things in there. Now they said that they had to give me this fluid. It was called a cloned blood, It was white blood. It had nothing wrong with me, and my blood would stick to it. So if my body couldn't make blood quick enough, it would stick to it and take on the form of my blood. So they'd give me clone blood. Whether that clone blood comes from them or they developed it all from humans, I don't know. But the clones of me, these babies in the pods they had, all had artificial blood because they said that they couldn't produce embryonic fluid, blood and plasma, whatever it is, to the same level as a human, whether that be pheromones or hormones or what. So our blood does play a huge issue across the board between human hybrid program, whatever way you look at it. But that's what I understand.
Well, actually, the blood itself, all the stuff inside the blood, that makes us what we are. So when I talked about all these races and they still coming down here to take our blood, I'm saying the human race is perfect. We're destroying it. The scientists are destroying it, giving us these drugs that destroy our DNA, destroy all our lymphocytes and everything in our body. They're destroying it, and that's what I mean. I hope I don't get booted off of that. But we're getting our bodies torn apart on the inside. Not, I mean, on the outside we got toxic rain, toxic air, toxic water and stuff. But on the inside, they're putting all these chemicals in there. How come you could see a drug on TV for a heart problem, but this could cause cancer, this could cause you instant death, they'll give you like 30 things that it can do, and it's legal to sell that to you for one thing, even though it could give you 20 more things. Here's a vaccine. I'm not going to say anything about the vaccine. Sorry, I can't finish that one today. But look what's going on this planet. Look at listen to the stories when a person comes on. When my father died, I died. Look at the facts. Just look at the facts. They're proving the truth. And like when everybody was in the hospitals and you went to those white clinics that they set up outside, nobody was in them, and they set them up again recently. And just look at what's happening. Something's going down. I'm not going to talk about it, but I will tell you this, people. I'm going to tell you every show that I do. UN, United Nations, Agenda 2121-30. That is what's happening. 193 countries agreed on it. So guess what? It's accepted. One world order. And they want one controlling race. So guess what, people? We're not all going to fit into that picture, into that puzzle the way we want to fit into it. Sasha just left us. I hope everything's okay. But we're in this position where we can't change that right now. Or, well, we don't have, you have to do whatever they tell you. If, like in Australia, they're making these people get injections, all right, and they're running the streets right now, and the police said they're not going to deal with it. They're going to shoot them. Now, in the United States, we got FEMA camps for that. Somebody says, well, I don't take it. They come to my house. I'll just tell them to leave. I'll shoot them. No, you won't. They're not going to come by one person and say, okay, let's go. We can't fight the government. The only way we fight the government is by voting, but we voted what's in there now.
So here's another way to look at it, Tommy. The government is infiltrating the public. It was announced this week on the Southern Television in the UK, in Southampton, Hampshire region, that the military will now be assisting and helping and doing 999 emergency ambulance calls and running the ambulance service as we're overrun. Now, we're not in the grips of a major pandemic because everyone's been vaccinated. But our numbers are supposed to be down, but I'm not sure how we can be overrun if we don't have large numbers. So the military is stepping in to assist us, which is a good thing if we need assistance. But once you start inserting military across the board, then I think you're going to be having problems.
Well, guess what? If we have military driving ambulances, we're never going to know the truth. All right. Where they take... I can go into a story. It happened a long time ago in Florida when they had the disaster and all these people died. They were taking them and just throwing the bodies in this truck and everything. They gave the people that were alive tags and they put numbers on them. And they came back to pick them up later. which is really bizarre.
Very close friend of mine was in the military and was on guard duty one day, and this military train passed him. And on this train, he said this train, normally you see a train like 10, 20 carriages. He said this thing must have had like a double-ended locomotion thing. He said it must have had 50 carriages on it. I don't think a train could pull that much. He said, but there wasn't just one. This thing, it went on all night. He said that they were having these plastic things, and when they pulled up to, I can't mention where they were going, or it would give away who this person is. When they got to their destination, because he was on duty, he asked a senior person what was going on. He could see what was on the back. I can't explain what everything was on the back, but these things that look like fold up and have plastic coffins. He asked what they were for, because there seemed to be like millions of them, and he said they're for the cleanup. If you ever had a world pandemic, so this is 25 years ago, 20 years ago, wasn't 25, less than that, they would come in handy. He said if you had a flood or a large pandemic, then the only thing you would need would be emergency services and a cleanup crew and lots of these fold-up coffins. There you go. On that note, Tommy, get your Geiger counter out. Let's have a quick shifty at that this week, because we missed it for 2 weeks. So I did it last week, not the week before.
You're the one that's radioactive, people. This is something we do every week now, because we both bought the same Geiger counter. See it, people? All right. And she gave me her symptoms that she's going through. And I said, there's signs of radiation poisoning. Now, what we're going to show you is not possible. All right, people? What Tina's going to demonstrate is not possible.
We could look so stupid if it doesn't go off this week. So, well, guys,
that makes it more real, because she's on and off radioactive. On and off radioactive. Sometimes a little stronger here, a little less.
If you look at this, so this is the Geiger counter. At the top is a volts per meter, and that measures electrical field. And at the moment is 0 and marked safe. The bottom one, as you can see there, is micro Teslas. So as you can see the sign for micro Teslas there, people. So the top one's electrical magnetic field, and you've got radioactive field on the bottom, as well as magnetism. Okay. So when you hold it close to electronic devices, I have a smart TV that doesn't give off radiation. So I'm going to hold it to my TV. Nothing's going off. My mobile phone is there, by the way, and it's not beeping. So Tommy doesn't have a new smart TV. So when he holds his up to the screen, turn it around, Tommy. When he holds it up to the screen.
See, it's which way you hold it. If you reverse it the opposite way, I get all the frequency. And it's
what I'm going to do now is there's Tommy's. Now, Tommy's just beeping at the top there. You can see it's 64, 69, 61, 62. His is going off because his screen is giving off electrical magnetic field. Now, I am just going to literally scan one side of my head, and we'll start with this side. So the bottom is reading radiation. So see 0.2926, the closer it gets, the higher the number gets. So that's micro test. I'm trying to get the mic so you can see the numbers. So that's
good.
And then I'm going to go down this side. This side normally goes off, or they go 9 there, 14, 20. What's that on my neck?
People, there should be 0 there. 0.
Sometimes when it beeps really loudly.
Sometimes it goes.
Oh, there you go.
There it goes. That means it's close to like 30, 40. I can't read it.
Okay.
Can you read it? Can you see what it is? Oh man.
Not quite, babe. What does that say? I have to look at it. Oh, I can see it under that light tinny there. Hold on.
But
can you see that? 30, 27.
This ain't a game, people. She's not doing this make believe. This isn't something we set up for it to happen.
So now, still the numbers are there, 35, 30.
Radiation, basic radiation, stays there for 100, 200 years. All right.
I'll put 50, 40, 65. Oh,
See, it's crazy. That's not normal. And it doesn't
respect.
do it with anybody else. But I keep telling her it definitely has something to do with her friends up in space there, what they're doing to her. I mean, she all the things are her symptoms of what she has. It's all
Scary.
radiation signs. So I'm hoping she sticks
Nothing on my
around,
legs today.
and I
Nothing
hope.
on my legs whatsoever.
But people, I talk to so many scientists and everybody else about this,
Oh,
and they say it's
that's my
impossible.
dog.
What?
My dog.
Your dog's radioactive again?
No way. My dog just came in from a walk. He said, and he's got electric. Hold on, I'm trying to hold it up quick. And he's got electrical field. His electrical field was 11, and the bottom one was.
Well, what they did here in Hawaii,
Oh,
they've
his
been.
electrical field is 29. I'm going to hold it up really quick so you can see it. Hold on.
It
I
went
can't
down.
believe your
Well,
dog's
I
home.
trust you. You have to go. But here's the thing: here in Hawaii, we get chemtrail sprayed over us a real lot. Now, 2 weeks ago, my friend was in town and they had streaks across the whole sky. So she put it up online. Somebody took a picture, video, scraping the window with a little squeegee, putting it in a pile, and putting a magnet over it, and it pulled it up. All right, so there's a magnetic field coming out of this chemtrails that they're spraying in the sky as well. Whatever it is, it's magnetic. So, people, there's things going on that they're doing. They know what they're doing, people. It's not like, oh, we'll put chemicals up there and let's just see what happens. There's reasons why they've been doing these things for a long time now. And if you notice that children are coming down with Parkinson's and dementia and all these things that they should not be getting, it's going to escalate. Scientific said it's going to escalate within the next 2 to 3 years to like 10 times the number of children having it. And now they're saying Pfizer cannot be given, said they cannot give it between young children up to 16 years old. It's
Don't
okay.
talk about it on here because they take our video
Oh no,
down.
I forgot to mention this stupid word.
Stop it. On that note, just before we go, I'm hoping this weekend, guys, hopefully it's going to come off. I'm going to get my hypnotic regression, hopefully. Fingers crossed. If not, it'll be very soon, but it should be booked for this weekend, so that I'm getting it done. This is my new book cover for those who have not seen it. It's called The Bonded, The Truth About Alien Abduction. It's a licensed picture, so please don't. It's copyright and it's a licensed picture, guys. So it was made for me for my book. There it is, and that will be my new book cover that's coming out very shortly, hopefully by mid-September or before. It's called The Bonded, The Truth About Alien Abduction.
Tina, is that picture of you in there when you were younger?
No, it's an artist impression. I did want a picture of me because I have photographs in the book, and the photographs with my neck injuries and had my face taken out because I didn't like the look of the face, but I do have the photographs. On my case file, you can see my face on there. It didn't look right for me. But no, everyone says that does look. My sister-in-law is a very talented lady. If you read the book, you understand what's going on there. And yeah, so
Tina, the question for you is: do you radiate other people? Did you check your partner?
well, my dog's radioactive and
Well,
he's been out for a while, but I have. Hold on, Bubba, come here. I'm just gonna have to stand there. Yes,
he
his
is.
arm. Just gonna show his arm on telly. I do apologise.
Oh no, he's radioactive.
15 now. Hold on.
Oh man.
I had it once before, didn't I?
Yeah, he's a couple of times with his. Just see this. His hairy arms. It's not my arm. It is his arm.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
stop. Oh no, he's under his armpit is 18.
Oh no.
Yeah.
See,
13 now. Oh, electrical magnetic field is 3, 9, 4, 3, 6, 0, nothing. Let's do chest. Oh, his chest is 40. That's his chest. Wow. That's his tummy.
That explained the chest pain today.
It's, oh my God, hold on, 69 now on his tummy.
Oh, something's going on, Tina. And I don't think it's a positive thing in any way, but
It's got to be that thing we see in the sky every night.
yeah, recently where we are, I've taken photos of it and put it on my Facebook page. There's this thing in the sky. It doesn't move with the stars because you get like it goes across the sky. No. This thing is out there. It goes up and down, bleeps, flashes on and off.
Full moon last night.
Yeah, and it goes into different colours, and it's been out there every night. Every night it's been out there.
Well, we have things going on right now that are a little bit upsetting to me. But not that we're going to be able to cure it. Nobody's going to come out to Tina and tell her what's going on, especially the government. You could take her away instantly one night and she'd be gone, and they're going to try to figure out what's going on.
I'll tell you anything you need to know. Gladly, I'll give up the goodies.
No.
But I'd like free medical treatment, not just for me, but for everyone who's ever said that they've been abducted. Free, like, scans, counselling, surgery issues, corrective surgery for people.
Maybe they want to see, in all the old movies, they always show radiation making things super big in time.
He's just going to test my other dog now. He's worried. Sorry.
Well, they put things in the ocean.
Yeah.
This person said he brought a meter himself, showing my dog showing 19.
My female dog is saying 31.
Did you have your dog chipped, Tina?
Sorry?
Is your dog chipped?
Both of them are.
Wow, that could be where it's picking it up from.
No, it's not. It's coming from their bum, and it doesn't pick up on their chip. That's on her hip. It's beeping like mad.
Wow,
It doesn't pick up because we took her to the vet when my dog was sick
92.
before. She's got huge tumours on her, my dog, and 92 was beeping on there, and the Nanook, Marvin. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say his name.
But you see what Carl said, right?
He had my dog have blood tests, and they said that there's something wrong with his blood, and that it's something they could tell with his platelets that he'd been exposed to radiation. Oh, hold on, someone's just got a question for us, Carl.
Yeah, I just said you can read that.
I bought one of these meat now. It's showing 0, but my dog is showing 19. But I think it may be. So take it away from his chip. See, the chips don't emit radiation, guys. They emit, so you can get it by it's like a digital magnetism on there. It doesn't emit radiation, so your dog shouldn't be written a micro test. There's 19 is quite shouldn't be getting any. So look, my TV doesn't even emit that, and I'm getting transmitted. So my screen doesn't emit that.
I put mine under the table, and it's 150. Blinking.
No. Sorry. So yeah, try. You've reached it. Have Carl try a different bit of your dog. Is it work? Because that was on her hip. You put it towards the neck, and it's not going off. But if it is your dog's chip, then perhaps I've got a huge one inside me because mine's a lot bigger than 19 microtesters, let me tell you.
Tina, I'll let you re-promote your book before you leave.
So yeah, I'm going to withdraw them from Amazon, people. So just so you know, I have a few books there, guys. I wrote the TA Brand, The Guardians of Light and Brotherhood of Night. And I wrote one called The Checkpoint. I've got another one coming out soon. But my next book will be the big one. So this book has been equated. I spoke to a few people. I've got a statement from my investigators. This book here has been equated to the biggest UK abduction story, whether it is or not. I'll leave that up to you. So America, Betty and Barney Hill, that's their biggest one. And this is Britain's biggest abduction case as far as I'm aware. It's called The Bonded, The Truth About Alien Abduction. It'll include pictures, drawings, a statement from my investigator, and really just what happened at my basic abduction. There's one or two minor things that I've left out on it and has not been admitted on there. But so wait for that to come out, guys. But I've noticed on Amazon that some people have put in that they've got copies of my books or books that have been used or secondhand copies, and they're selling them for twice as much or cheaper than what I'm selling them for. So I'm withdrawing them. They will be rebranded. I've got myself a branding logo as well, and that will go out with my new book, which will be between now and the end of next month. Hopefully, Carl, that your dog is fine and it's not his chip. If you could let me know your poor dog's fine. One's sick and it's going to have to go back to the vets. But so, yes, look out, guys. It's called The Bonded, The Truth About Alien Abduction. That's my abduction account. And that'll be out on Amazon, Kindle, and Kindle Unlimited. My other books will be withdrawn, rebranded, and they will be going back out as well. So you can find them. I have an author's page on Amazon. I'm T.A. Bird on there. And you can find me, Tina Bird, on Facebook. If you're also part of ufology in the UFO world, I've just done a recent interview with Outer Limits magazine on a podcast with them. And I've been in 4 issues of the UFO Truth magazine for the UK. So the UK Truth UFO magazine is issue 31, 32, 33, and 34. So you can buy back issues of that online. You should be zero, Tina. That is strange. Yes, it is. I should be strange. And I lost, since having this problem with radiation, I've lost teeth. Got the roots there, they're just snapping and crumbling and just coming off. So yeah, guys, I'll be back full power with my new book launch. Now COVID is over, I can do a few book signings. So if anyone wants to book me for book signing, please do. But me and Tommy will be on here every week, and we will be doing our Geiger counter readings. Guys, if you think you've been taken, get one of these. Me and Tommy got one they're about 20 English pounds, £18. Do your readings at home. I'll be interested if you'd like to come on the show with your Geiger counter and do your reading the same time as me and Tommy. We could start having some type of census and survey and find out what's going on.
They're really cheap.
Sorry?
You can buy them on Wish for like $20 as well. So
yeah.
Go out there and get one. I drove to town. It was a couple of spots were really bad. Coming back, it started raining. My beeper was going off from the time I left the store till I got all the way up to about 2 blocks from my house. So there is radiation coming down in the rain. There's radiation around. And you should know where you shouldn't be staying most of the time. All right, we have 2 malls, and the one mall has it in the lot, and the other one doesn't. They both have the giant satellite antennas on them, and only the one really picks it up, and it spreads it around through a whole section. But I'll let Tina go, but it was always a pleasure, Tina. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. So it's been a pleasure for me, Tommy. Thank you very much for being on the show with us, Encounters, this week. And guys, if you have a question for us, please come on the show or come into the chat room and comments and ask us a question. If you have an answer from a previous question we've asked on the show, please come on. We'd also like to hear from that. If you'd like to update on news, if we're wrong, please let us know. We can only go on what we're told. We try to look at everything from every different angle. If you'd like to be, my dog has run off. He won't come near me now. If you'd like to come on the show, be a part of our show, please let us know. Email Tommy. Again, you can email Tommy anytime or contact me through Facebook Messenger or on Hive Initiative or Hive on Facebook. That's me, E.T. Gal. From Tina Bird here in Southampton in the UK and everyone in Hawaii and across America. I wish you well, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye, Tommy. Bye, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Bye, Tina.
Bye, my pleasure.
All right, that's Tina Bird. I've been doing a show with her for a while now. She does have the symptoms of radioactive poisoning. She's got losing her fingernails. She was losing her hair. She was going unconscious, and I feel that the aliens are watching her one way or another. They'll keep her going because radiation doesn't do what it's doing right now normally. So however they're doing that or why they're doing it is... All right. Next time I'm going to make her talk a little longer about what she went through. I mean, her book will be coming out and everything, but her family up on the ship there that can communicate with her, how radioactive they are, and is that somehow connected to her? But I'll try to get her to get into that next week. But I just want to go into, I'm doing a workshop in the end of next month. It'll be a workshop never done before in the United States that I know of in the way that I'm going to be doing it. I'm covering just about every topic there is. starting with birth, relationship, love, death, reincarnation, soul, soul travel, and God. Demons, entities, all the things in between, deities. But where we need to be in this world, what we need to be and understand about it, and all those things, it's all going to be there. And none of it's going to be storyland making you feel good. It's not a feel good workshop. It's learn the truth, period. And the truth usually hurts. All right. Oh, no, it doesn't have to, but it does. So people, look, and I'm going to get into it all, where we need to be, what we need to be doing. Oh, well, everybody has their mission. No, you don't, people. Oh, some falls. Sorry about that. So it's going to be 2 weekends in a row, and it'll probably be a third weekend as well. All right. We're going to talk about things and reality that people should understand, including the UFO world and everything else in between. Because what people believe in is definitely not helping the planet. It's not helping relationships. It's not helping the crime level. It is not helping anything. So if you think religions benefit and spiritual speakers are benefiting, they're telling you everything's okay, telling you everything's beautiful, telling you become a super spiritual being, telling you one with God, telling you you're part of the universe. But look at reality. You're here and now, and you're living in this body that's deteriorating. So people, look, I got a manual, how to see a UFO. If you want it, text me, I'll send you it. I give my first 2 books away as an ebook if you're interested in that as well. Just text me that you want a book or you want the UFO book manual. It's your choice. I don't charge for any of them. Like I said, I'm not doing any of this for money. I am trying to put the truth out there. It goes beyond all these UFO people. Sorry, they all have their stories. But most of their stories come from other people's stories. Like Travis Walton, he did a movie. You watch the movie, see what his story was, and it's changing. But I was talking about people become spiritual. He's going around with this giant hand, and he does healing work with it in his mind as well. You know, you can do things if you get another person to believe whatever you're saying. It's their reality. I'm not trying to change your reality to what I believe in. I'm trying to get you to find and look for the truth yourself because you need to find it, and nobody else is going to give it to you. So with that, people, enjoy your day. I hope everything's cool where you are. Nighttime, it's getting later, and if you're on the West Coast, I will be back. I did a show last night. It's on YouTube. Go onto YouTube, make me your friend me, and you'll be able to get my links to the shows I do. I'm sorry about the one that was taken down. I almost got into the virus again. It's the worst thing happening to the planet right now. How can we not talk about it? Well, close your eyes and pretend it's not there, like how many people are starving on the planet. Let's not look at that. Well, all right, people. Again, this workshop that I'm doing, I'm charging minimum. I mean, I'm not trying to make money off of it, but I want people to respect it, and I want it to be something important when those people come to, because they're going to learn stuff they're not going to learn anywhere else. Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle do not know a thing about death. They do not know a thing about reincarnation, and they can't talk about it. Any religion does not talk about a real God. Why? Because did the priests have an experience with God? You can have a dream or say something. Well, I talked to God and it told me. It told me what? You think God has to come down to this reality to talk to us to do what? I mean, it came down, it worked with Jesus because he was the most spiritual person to walk this planet at that time. Nobody else could even hold that kind of vibration. But he was not God, never said he was. So even that is kind of molded into what people wanted. Everything's taken out of the content of what it truly is and squeezed into where somebody wants to put it. And it really doesn't fit there. With that, people, text me on Hawksblood, How to See God. I have 3 different sites, How to See God. It's how to see God. How to see. Man, I'm losing it. How to see God.org. O-R-G. That's my webpage. I'm working on it. I had to tear it all down, tear it apart. The pictures I had on there of UFOs and everything. The person I did it all with has it all copyrighted and made me take it down, and so a lot of things went down. So I starting all over on my site. But you can also email me, which is the most important way. I'm on Skype, just Hawksblood11. And I'd rather talk to a person than type and do emails. With that, people, enjoy your day. Till next time.